right, my friend Carter, we are live and online. I am just pulling this video up so I can see some commentary as our friends are chiming in here.
Awesome.
Yay. Okay, guys, here I have Carter from Woman Shops World here live with us on Facebook today. This is a special Friday edition of the Jesse James Beads Celebrity Spotlight. We typically do this show on Thursdays, but Carter from Woman Shop. Okay.
You're unfrozen now.
Okay, good. Am I unfrozen now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. The internet cut out for a second here.
Internet. Nope, you're good.
All right.
I mean,
cool.
I think you're good.
I think so too. Okay, great. Hi again. So I have Carter from Woman Shops World here. You may have heard of her before. You may have seen her beautifully colorful products. Carter's from South Carolina, and she has this wildly wonderful, colorful brand, which is a great fit for Jesse James Beads because we love color here. Carter, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your brand, Woman Shops World.
Awesome. Would love to. So we are, as Sarah said, all about the color. We do some neutrals too, but we're really we live in this world of color because we realize the power of color to just make people feel good. I've always been a color lover myself and an accessories lover. And so this kind of innately just grew out of what feels good to me. So our focus is beads from all over the world, hence the name Woman Shops World. I actually came up with the company name from the show that used to follow the anthropology buyer, Man Shops Globe. And it was I feel like it was on Discovery Channel or National Geographic or something years ago. And I'm not a big TV watcher, but I kind of had visions of starting my own bead company after working with Anish, my husband's wholesale bead company. And I'd kind of gotten far away from the beads. I was a number cruncher and photographing things in the same boring way for all of our website pictures. And I was I missed the beads. So I started selling some vinyl record beads, vintage, which are maybe my favorite beads ever. And I just started selling them on Etsy on a whim. And I was watching Man Shops Globe one night, and I was Woman Shops World, that is such a good company name. So it just came to me. So started my Etsy shop and kind of ran with it. And before I knew it, it had just taken off. So I'm bad with time. That was 10-ish years ago. And now we have our own website. Well, we've had our own website, still sell on Etsy, but definitely push our own website more. And we just kind of keep growing, and whatever speaks to me and catches my attention is kind of what we add to the shop.
So this is a really good week to have Carter here with her brand Woman Shops World, because March is National Women's Month, and March 8th, just earlier this week, was International Women's Day. So how wonderful to have a female entrepreneur who had an idea inspired by something that she saw, and now she's got this really amazing brand with these super, super cool products. One of which, I love that you mentioned that the record beads are one of your favorites to work with, because Carter has provided for us at Jesse James Beads these super amazing, big dream, massive record beads. And we're going to be making a project with those today.
Yes, for sure. So do you want me to go ahead and dive in? Is that a good time, or you want me to talk more?
Well, I just want to say real quick, as people are still tuning in here, that I first met Carter in Tucson, and the Jesse James booth was just inside the ballroom, where Carter and her husband Avish had this amazing tent outside full of colorful textiles and beads and furniture pieces and finished jewelry and components to be able to create your own very colorful, eclectic, bohemian, worldly jewelry. And it's that I just don't know, my soul fell in love with you, Carter, that day when I first walked into your booth. And it really is such a treat to be able to have you here with our Jesse James fans on this Friday, March 12th.
so happy to be here, and I miss Tucson so much, and I miss that tent. Like, I think those few years when we had that big tent outside were like, I mean, I like in my mind lived in that tent year round, even when we weren't in Tucson. It was like, it was intense. It was a lot, but it was
It was
so homey.
intense.
It was intense. It was kind of like a circus intense.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was so fun. Like, and I feel like so many people in our industry like felt at home, because people, even customers, would come and just hang out in the tent and be like, I'm sorry, I'm not here to buy anything. I just want to hang out. And we're like, good, sweet. I mean, I don't know if you remember, like the beverage guy would stop. Adam was his name. I still remember his name. He would come every morning, and like the mimosa cart would be like right outside of our tent, because we were like the party tent. um,
Oh
but
my
yeah, and I
God.
think further evidence that people gravitate towards that color because it feels good, right? And the eclecticness and the quirkiness of it all, and that's still kind of what we are at Woman Shops World. Like, there are so many times when I'm like, you can't like pigeonhole us, and people are like, what are you? And I'm like, well, it's like 10 paragraphs long. But I think that's kind of the beauty of it, is that we can't be put in a box. And I think that's how creativity is, it feels good. And so that's what you run with, and that's what you do. So
it feels really good to color outside the lines, and just to
yes.
color, just to add color. Like we at
Yes.
JJB are like, we love color here too. And there's beauty in neutrals for sure.
Yes,
but there's
absolutely.
something that just makes your soul sing when you can have something bright, and everyone's got a favorite color, or maybe you like all the colors. And the project that we are making today, if you're a person that likes all the colors, today's the project for you. So
Yeah.
do you want to share with us what we're going to be making and get down
Awesome.
into it?
Yeah, for sure. So actually, I just took it off a minute ago. I'll put it back on. So we are going to make this fun necklace with some of our Big Dreams polymer beads.
Yes.
Some of my favorites, we touched on a minute ago, the African vinyl record beads. So these are like those on steroids. They're huge. They're 15 millimeters. Because we kind of are like the maximalist mindset, like go big to go home mentality. So we've got the Big Dreams. We've got some bone beads, which are another one of our specialties at Woman Shops World. And then we have an Evil Eye enamel charm. And then you can close this necklace. That's the other thing that's kind of fun about this. Like, you can tie a knot. You can make it this whatever length you want. Obviously, because it's yours, you can do whatever you want. But I made mine with a slip knot. You can use a magnetic clasp. Jesse James has these really fun guys. So that is kind of a fun little option. Or you could make it short and use a toggle clasp, or whatever you want to do. So the finish is going to be up to you, however you like your style. All right, and I'm going to flip this around. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. My fun little tripod did not come today like it was, or yesterday. So I have an annoying tripod.
Wow, that is an exciting splash of color that you have on your table there. I'm excited.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, y'all ignore my tripod leg. I'm going to try to get that away. Okay. We'll just have to have him in there. All right. So can everybody see Sarah? Can y'all see that? Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is a big pile of Big Dreams.
Can you hold one of those beads up to the camera so we can get an idea of how large those things really are?
Yeah. So, well, here's a strand. So these guys are really big, 18 millimeters, kind of big. To put them into perspective, these are 8 millimeter bone beads. So yeah, these are really big. These are statement makers. Okay, so we are going to start with some leather cord from Jesse James. And I am so not like a measurement person. That was one of my big beefs when I tried to do metalsmithing, is it is so precise. And I am like a fly by the seat of your pants kind of a girl. So I made this necklace. I think it's about 28 inches. So you can decide on the length that suits you. And let's see, I'm just going to start by stringing on some of these Big Dreams. So I have kind of a stack of mixed colors. And I'm just going to stack them up and string them on. This is so like not advanced beading skills, guys. I'm kind of a simple girl when it comes to technique, and I like to let my beads do the talking. And y'all have so many fun mixes, Sarah, Jesse James, that I think it's kind of the same concept. Like, you know, it's fun to just let the beads speak for themselves. I mean, fancy techniques are fun too, but
you know, our customers are the people that shop Jesse James beads have said that to us all the time. We hear it frequently, you know, oh, this bead really speaks to me, or this bead color palette really speaks to me.
yeah.
And I think it's fun, like you just said, to allow the beads to do the talking.
Yeah.
And create what feels right.
For sure. I mean, you know, there's something so therapeutic. I've noticed that in the pandemic, we've had a lot of people who have come to beading for the first time. And I think it's really fun for people who aren't like, you know, advanced, you know, wire workers and all that, to be able to come to beading and do something simple. And it's so therapeutic, like just to play and to put the beads on the wire, on the leather. And it feels good. And that's so nice for people who might not be familiar with beading, to have something that's not like overwhelming and intimidating and still looks knockout, right? Because the beads are awesome. So I am just stringing on here. So this is what we've got so far. You could certainly, if you're like a pattern person, you can cut this strand apart, and you might want to do a pattern of like, you know, 3 pinks and 3 greens and 3 purples or whatever. Whatever floats your boat. But I kind of like the randomness of it all. If I get a dark section, sometimes I'll like slide in a pink, slide in something to make it bright.
Those beads are so cool.
I love how soft they are too. And yeah. I'll add they're waterproof because summer is coming. So that is something fun. They make perfect jewelry for, you know, going out on the boat or going to the beach.
I could see these as a really cool stretch bracelet, like a thick monkey stretch bracelet.
They are so fun as a stretch bracelet. I actually was just working on one of those the other day with some big check glass beads in between. I mean, you talk about like statement maker. So let's see. So that is, here I go with my measuring skills. I actually have a tape measure here. Let's see how long that is for people who are into measuring. So we've got about 4 inches of the big dreams on there. I'll slide on a few more. All right. So we've got about 4 inches of big dreams, and then we are going to add on a few of these bone beads. So all of our bone beads come from India. And Jesse James has these on the site now. So these are simple, just white, round. These are actually from a mala strand. So I'm just going to string those on. I like 3 in the middle. I felt like that flanked the pendant well, but again, the choice is yours. And then we have our evil eye charms. And these are new on the Jesse James site too. So I've kind of been feeling this neon lately because summer can't come fast enough. Well, actually I take it back. Spring can't come fast enough. I'm not quite ready for the summer yet. Because I'm in South Carolina where it gets to be 9,000 degrees and 1,000% humidity, but I'm channeling some spring vibes. So I'm going to choose this pendant, and I've got this one on a jump ring.
Oh, I love them.
Slide that on. And then to balance that out, I'm just going to put on 3 more of my bone beads. And that brings us back around to the next section of the big dreams. And if you have kids love these beads. My son is constantly cutting apart the strand, stringing it onto something. He makes me these really long necklaces that are like you could jump rope with it. But they're great for kids because they've got a nice large hole in them. That hole is 2 millimeters, which is great. And it makes them, good for all different kinds of cord and stuff too. And obviously larger elastic, like you were saying, for a stretch bracelet. So these are definitely good beads for kids too.
I cannot wait to get my hands on these beads, Carter. I am so excited.
Yeah, these are super fun. And I'm not a TV watcher, but Outer Banks. Do you watch Outer Banks?
I have seen it. I have seen it. It's on Netflix, right?
Yes. So I guess season 2 is coming out, and Outer Banks really made vinyl record beads like kind of hit the mainstream last season. So we have our own little version of Outer Banks. I think, is her name Maddie or something like that, the lead in it? I'm not sure, but anyway, she wears vinyl record beads, but she doesn't have any big dreams. She probably could use some big dreams.
I think that she could probably use some big dreams too. I think we could all benefit from some big dreams.
Yes. Big dreams brought to life.
Yeah. Oh, they're so fun and playful. I love this.
Yeah, we are all about some playful jewelry. I mean, jewelry should make you smile and be happy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm just stacking these up. I'm getting close to my 4 inches again on this side. I love watching different people's like stringing techniques. I love to stack up a block like this and kind of string them on.
Mm-hmm.
But some people like to meticulously choose each color that's going on. I find if I try to micromanage the color pattern, it always looks really forced instead of organic. So I kind of like to just grab and go. All right. Just maybe 3 or 4 more of those. Okay, so I think we are kind of symmetrical there. That is what we have. And actually, I'm going to put on a few more. All right, so I've got this really long cord here. I'm going to actually cut my cord at a length that feels good, but I think about 28 inches is what I made my sample necklace. So actually even this side out. If there are meticulous people watching this, I'm probably driving y'all crazy. My wonderful studio manager, Sandra, is very detail oriented and meticulous, and I will drive her crazy like with my haphazardness and inability to like do things by the book and measure things properly and all of that.
That is all comes down to the beautiful different styles that we have in this world. Because
it is so true. So true. Yeah, I'm so not a measurer. I took a metalsmithing class when I lived in California, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this so much. And I've very quickly realized that like the precision required for that is so not my jam. I was like, no, y'all can have this. Like nothing came out linear. None of my edges were lining up. The solder was going everywhere. I was like, no. Which is another reason why I often thought I used to be a lamp worker. I guess I still, once a lamp worker, always a lamp worker, right? I used to make my own glass beads. And I think that is why glass was such a friendly medium to me, because it's very like willy-nilly and not like by the books. You kind of have to do what the glass allows you to do. And I think that that's why I liked glass so much, because it does not require like measuring and precision.
yeah, the glass, with glass making and with ceramic, you have to just kind of like let the glass decide what's going to happen. You can mold it in
Yes.
the way that you want, but in the end project, it's just ta-da! Look at what
Right.
the glass can do.
Yeah, the glass will not like form straight lines and, you know, things like that. It's very not linear, which is kind of cool, very organic. So this is like the most unexciting stringing, but we're just putting our beads on. So you could do like chant a mantra or listen to your favorite tune, or I'm looking outside at this gorgeous day.
See, and that's what's really great about simple jewelry making. When you've got some really cool product, when you've got really cool beads, you can put together a simple design and it just pops and comes alive. And then all of a sudden you've got an amazing wearable that didn't take you an entire weekend to create.
Absolutely. That's what I love about awesome beads is like, you know, the beads can do the talking. I'm going to move some of these guys out of the way.
I am going to post up here. Oh, we have a blog with Carter's beautiful picture on it and the sample picture of this design that we're creating here, and then all the products that you need to make it. And I'm just going to drop that into the comments just in case anyone's curious where to get these beauties.
My mailman may be about to ring the doorbell. I can hear him. He always scares me. He talks on his cell phone.
Your mailman talks on his cell phone?
Yeah. And so I sometimes if I'm sitting here working, I'm at my dining room table. I work from home a lot in the mornings. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, who is that talking? And then I realize it's my mailman outside.
That's so funny.
Scaring me. All right. So let's see, we're getting close. I love this magnetic clasp that I got from you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. It's really lightweight and
it's so strong.
Pattern to it. I know the magnets are crazy strong.
All right, so let's see. Again, with my precision, I'm like measuring off of what I already did, but let's see, I'll give y'all a measurement. That is about 8 inches, 7.5 inches of beads. But again, like I kind of just put it up to my neck and like did what felt right for me.
For sure.
So, you know, I mean, if you're selling it, obviously you could, you know, make it versatile, but I did on mine, and I think I'll finish this one this way too, a slip knot, because I think that gives it a little bit more versatility from a selling standpoint too, because you don't always know what your customer is going to want, right? So I like the idea of it being on a slip knot, because then you can wear it at whatever length you wish, which is kind of fun.
So the mala beads, the bone beads that you're cutting off right now, you're actually cutting them from a mala necklace, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I am. And a lot of people, that's a good question. A lot of people ask us, sorry, my chair is so squeaky on my jeans. A lot of people ask us like if we think it's like sacrilegious to cut apart a mala.
That was my question.
Yeah. And I think that's like a huge personal belief kind of a question, but my personal stance is that it's not sacrilegious. I kind of feel like meditation and worship or giving respect or whatever you want to call that is such a personal thing. And to me, it's like giving the beads like your form of respect by doing like making your own magic with them. So that's kind of my own personal opinion. I do not think it is you know, a bad thing to cut apart a mala. And we get asked that a lot, but you know, I mean, ultimately it's like your personal, that's a personal decision, but we don't really think that it's a bad thing. And that goes for a lot of our beads. You know, we sell a lot of African beads and beads from India. And a lot of them are strung, like ready to wear or ready to use. And we think that that just kind of adds to the beauty and the history of the beads themselves, to make your own magic with them. All right, so we've got that long enough. I think long enough. Oh, we're not quite even. Let's see. We'll add one more bead over here. Boop. Okay. And then to finish it, again, personal preference. So you could, if you're like easy peasy, ready to be done with the project, like tie a knot at this point and then trim off your ends. Option one. Option two would be to use one of these cool clasps and tie a knot at the end. I did this little sample. Can y'all see that? So that would be option two. And then option three would be to do like a slip knot kind of a situation like this. So you can slide it. So I think that is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, show us your slip knot, Carter. That would be awesome.
A slip knot?
Yeah.
So I'm not like a super knot person. I have to look them up all the time because I forget how to do them. But what I did, and I also, again, fly by the seat of my pants. I'm like, oh, well, that looks, I don't know how to do that, but let's just wing it. So what I like to do to kind of lock this bead in place is to take my leather, cord, whatever you have, whatever you're stringing on, and put it back through that end bead like that, so that it's looped through. And then you can slide the rest of your beads around so that they're taut, because you don't want things like loosey-goosey, right? And then once it's taut, to bring the other end and put it back through that bead. And sometimes these bone beads, if you happen to get one that's got a really small hole, just switch it out for a different one, because most of these have about like that looks like maybe a 1.5 millimeter hole. So you should have plenty of room to get a cord through. I think, let's see, what is the old leather is a 0.5 millimeter. Yeah. So you should have plenty of room. So then I'm going to slide that tight. So that will keep your beads in place, which is a huge help, so that they're not like sliding around every which way, right? So you've got those little ends done, and there you go. Okay. And then you can bring your ends like that and kind of lay them together. So those are ready to go. And then I'm going to use just a different color of leather cord, but again, you do what your heart desires. And you want to get a piece that's, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 inches long. I always prefer to have more room and then like trim off the excess. Like there's nothing more frustrating than cutting your beading wire or your cord too short, right? And then you get to the end and you're like, oh no, redo. So you want to take the little end and fold it in a loop like that. And then, all right, let's hope I get this right. So I have some frequent redos, because I don't actually get as much time to bead as I used to. That's what happens when you have a passion that turns into a business and a 5-year-old. Suddenly I'm like, I haven't made a complete necklace. Sarah, it was actually so much fun when you asked me about this. I was like, oh, I get to make a piece of jewelry. Because I can't tell you the last time I sat down and made a complete piece of jewelry. All right, so y'all see what I did there? I've got that loop there and my 2 ends from my necklace, and I'm just going to line them all up. Okay. And then I'm going to take the longer piece of this and I'm going to wrap it around. So starting at the end closest to my loop. So I'm just going to wrap. And you don't want to do it really tight because you're going to run the end back through. So I hope y'all can see, it's so little. So I'm just going around. Oh
So
my
you're
gosh.
wrapping the long tail of the leather
Yep.
around the short tail of the leather and also
Around
to
also, yep, the
the base
cords.
cords.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm just making a coil. And you can do that, like as many of those as you want. Why is this getting unruly? There. Oh, this is so not pretty. Come on, work with me, leather. There we go. So you just want to go around a few times. But of course, the one that I'm doing live is not coiling pretty. I did one yesterday that was so pretty. Okay, so there we go. And then once you have enough, like, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 coils or however many, you can go wild and crazy, do a bunch of coils. You want to slide that back through your coils that you just made. And then you want to slide it back through the loop that you made at the end. And then grab it once it comes through that loop. All right, and now you want to hold everything tight and pull your ends. Oopsie. There. Did that catch? Something may have slipped loose there. No, we got it. All right, so if you want to test it, and mine kind of got like bunched up, but it's okay. So leather will really grip itself well. So now you should be able to slide your necklace pieces. So that is adjustable.
Oh, cool.
So you can do it a little bit longer if you want. Again, personal preference, totally depends on what you want to do. And then I like to just tie another knot here on that end before we trim it. And you want to snug that down. Snug that down, that's a verb. You want to slide that down like as close to your little coil. Again, I am so not like a technology, I'm terminology kind of a person. I'm sure that this has a proper name, but we're going to call it our coil. So see, I tied that little knot, and then I'm going to tie one on this side. And slide that down. And then I'm going to trim that. Boop. And boop. So that's good. And then with your necklace ends, again, you have options. I kind of liked the idea of ending with a bead. So you could, let's see, you want to think about how long, like the longest length that you would want to wear it, and like maybe slide out to that point, and then tie a knot so that it doesn't slide right off, right? You don't want to slide through your knot that you just made. So I'm going to tie another knot there. And then if you want, you can add a bead on the end. And then tie another knot. Or you could not add another bead on the end. Totally up to you. So there we've got that. And trim that end. So then you've got something that'll kind of dangle in the back of the neck too, which is fun. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Tie a knot. Whoopsie, I broke my leather. So that is one thing. I don't work with leather as much. I normally work with beading wire, actually, but you don't want to pull on your leather too hard like I just did. Okay, so that one is not going to have a bead on that side because I just broke my leather. So if you wanted to match them, like, you know, no bead, bead, totally up to you. And then it is adjustable. So then you can slide it on your neck and you are done. So let's see, there is the full piece in all of its glory in my pile of beads, in my leather scraps. So let's see, I will turn this back around and we will put it on. Hello. Let's see. So we will put on our fabulous creation.
Yes.
I mean, and talk about like, I coined a phrase that I like to call instant craftification. So it's like almost instant gratification. Like that was so quick and easy and painless, right? And now you have a fabulous new necklace that you can wear. And yes, you can totally make a bracelet to match. These beads are super fun. Like Sarah, you were saying, is a stretch bracelet. I mean,
Yes.
fun, right? Wear those together. So yeah,
good.
In a jiffy.
It is like, so when Carter and I first started talking about doing this class here, we were
Oh, you're frozen again. Let's see. Are you back? You're back. Yeah. Welcome back.
So Carter, thank you for sharing this vibrant necklace. Debbie in the crowd is saying so vibrant and beachy. It really is. It's just like you could throw that on with a t-shirt and pair of jeans. You could put it on over your swimsuit and wear it on the boat or in the summertime weather, which is fast approaching around the corner.
Yes.
Really, really cool. And we just at Jesse James Beads, we have some new stuff from Carter's shop, Woman Shops World, over at Jesse James Beads. You can also find Carter on Instagram and here on Facebook. I'm just excited to be able to inject some more colorful, cool, worldly items to the Jesse James Beads store. So thank you, Carter, for sharing this really cool design with us and just, your presence here on the Jesse James channel today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. And thank you for giving me a fun opportunity to bead. I should do it more often.
You betcha. Absolutely. And there'll be, we can talk more about making those excuses and those priorities to bead later. Jesse James Beads got some cool new events up our sleeve. The details aren't fully panned out yet, but they are coming. But anyway, in terms of more things that's coming up for you guys online, we have got Randy Brown live at 3 p.m. today. She's an awesome designer. Carter, you would like her very, very much. She is also like fly by the seat of your pants, no rules jewelry designer. Awesome. And guys, she's going to be here at 3 p.m. So thank you, Carter, for taking time from your Friday to come and share this beautiful jewelry treat with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I guess we will just see you guys. I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. today. And Carter, I'm sure I'll be talking to you in the next few weeks.
Sounds good. Talk soon. Thanks so much, Sarah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Carter.
Bye.